Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 11 of the solo Sesh-A-Thon. I'm going to quickly give a recap of the last two sessions that I've had and then hop into this one. So, if you've missed any of the previous videos, you can go back and watch those. That'll probably inform you a little bit on what's going on. My guess is if you're watching the video, you've probably seen those already. But right now, actually, most recently in my last video, my party had an encounter with a troll who bit off the ear of my dwarf fighter named Ulfric, and there was a lot of tension there that led up to it. And right now, the party's kind of got two different big missions going on. One is to return this guy Nelsor, who they found pinned under his horse being attacked by griffins. And then the other mission, which is like their overarching big mission, has kind of taken them around the entire map at this point, and that is to return Windry, who made off with an artifact from the Order of Order, and they apprehended her up here. This is the Order of Order. This is where they apprehended her. Then they had to go around this way because there was a dragon there that they had kind of made a deal with, or the dragon had made a deal with them. So then they went around, and then here in these grasslands, they found Nelsor pinned under his horse. Now they've gone down. He is from this city right here, which I haven't actually fleshed out yet. And I don't even know if I've said that he's from that city, but in my mind, I know he's from there. And yeah, that's where we are now. We just passed through this desert hex, and we're coming out into this kind of grassy coastal area. So, I'm going to give the recap now and let you guys know what all happened. So, in 2 sessions ago, it kind of started off, it was a very lighthearted, it was in a safe hex. So I knew it was going to be a lot of just talk and more exploration of characters. So Yarki begins to dress Ulfric's ear that's been bitten off, so he's trying to care for him. And then Eliara came over and started asking some questions, and the answers were just completely no. Like, she asked if he's doing okay. Is he? No. Eliara noticed the prayer, but overheard Ulfric say he was not into religion. Does he elaborate? No. So she's like asking these questions, and he's not answering. And so Yarki, I was like, what would someone do in a real life situation? And so Yarki was there dressing his ear, and he starts suggesting kind of funny nicknames for Ulfric now that he's gone through this. And he calls him Ulfric, the Heart of Hearing, Ulfric, Snake Ear, Ulfric, the Unbalanced, and Ulfric, the Debt Collector. And I said, do they stick? And the answer was no, but Ulfric gets a chuckle out of it and gives Yarki like a playful shove. And then he nicknames himself the Avenger of the Brotherhood, referencing the killing of Skaldor, this troll who was known for killing dwarves. So we had this very chill encounter with them that kind of gets to know them a bit more. And then I rolled, and there were 2 things that happened. I wanted to utilize 2 tables that were in here. We've got it's the rumor table and the something happens table. And so I went ahead and asked if Nelsor knew any, if he knew any rumors that were going around. And he did, and I rolled 35, which is a glowing meteor crashed deep inside the marshlands. So the marshlands is actually where they saw this village, this mushroom village that's like a Fae adjacent kind of thing that warped over into this realm because of like the instability caused by the disk. So then he says he saw a meteor strike up there. So there's a potential that this meteor has something to do with either the imbalance, or maybe something else is going on up there that they can encounter later on. And so that was cool. So I used the rumors, and then I was rolling encounters, but since it's safe hex, I just wanted something to see if something would happen, and something did happen. And I rolled a 75, which was a passing stranger presses an ancient coin into your hand. So they're out in the middle of nowhere, kind of. And I didn't feel like going into a really long, elaborate thing, but a stranger passes by, gives them an ancient coin, they ask them questions, they don't elaborate, and then move on. So they decide they need to find a diviner in the next town or wherever to see what this coin is all about. So that was that session. And then the next session, they were about to enter into the desert, and there's a cave structure here, and so this is 306, and they will be going in that direction. So I just asked, I just decided that Nelsor advises that they steer clear of this place. That was like, I just decided it wasn't a safe place. And then I asked what the name of it was and and the nature of the cave system. So I rolled up some stuff in the book, came up with caves of the unholy flame, and then rumors say a flame lures travelers inside and they are lost forever. I did that by rolling on the prompts table and kind of piecing that together. So the party sets off, and they have no encounters at the beginning. Nelsor actually asks Eliara where her interest in the arcane arts came from, and she feels, I rolled on the prompt table and I got illuminate connection, and so Eliara was unaware of her aptitude for magic, but one day she found her grandmother's journal and learned that her grandmother was very gifted, but tried to hide it. And this got her exploring her arcane aptitude, where she learned what she was capable of. So that was a cool thing where I was like, I wanted to dig deeper into the characters. So I had one of these NPCs ask a question, and it helped me learn stuff too. Like she didn't go to school for this for a long time or do anything like that. This was sparked by a familial relationship that she didn't know about. So then they see the cave in the distance, and then they make the final push, and then they have an encounter at the end of the day. And they see 4 salamanders, which are like these fiery lizard people, carrying on stretchers 2 ankegs, I think that's how you say it, but like these big insect things. And thankfully I rolled that they were far away, because I rolled that they were hostile, and I was just like, you know what, we're booking it. Like these guys, there's no chance that I'm trying to have a fight with these things. I don't know if they were like yelling cuss words at the party or what, like they were making vicious noises, but I just was like, I'm getting these characters getting out of here. They're in the final press. They have a guy with a broken leg. They have Ulfric who's missing an ear. They have Windry who's tied up. They have Yarki who's gone down. Yarki the oft downed. And you have all these other things. Like they just need to get to a real city and get these essentially fill these quests. And then once they do that, maybe after 18 sessions they can hit level 4, but it doesn't make sense right now. So that's that's where we are now, entering into Hex 206. And I said that was going to be fast. That wasn't fast at all. And usually I would write down all this stuff beforehand, but I didn't. So we've got session 19, which is they're entering Hex 206. I find that this is helpful as well. This is kind of how I set it up. I do a session number, what they're entering, the date, which is 12/12/20, 24 AY1. We're nearing Fantasy Christmas. And then the intro, I don't know. They cross into a much nicer coastal region. I usually would write out more for that, but since I'm doing it here, they begin to enter into this nicer coastal region. Nelsor does let them know that it's still a very dangerous place. So he's from he's from this city down here. Let's go ahead and he mentions that they're only about 2 to 3 days journey from his city. So the question is, what is your home called? What is your city called? And what we're going to do is, actually, so usually I would roll on a name table, but since we're here and since we're all trying new things out, I'm going to roll on this prompts table. So that's 4116. 41 being advance, 16 being information. Okay. Wow, that's actually really cool. So that could be kind of what this city is about. The city is called New Light. It is known for advance. Was it 13? Oh no. Advanced information 16. So it's known for its intellectual contributions and advancements. Maybe it has a university in it. Known for its university that is into discoveries. That's like the lamest way that I could say that possible. But I realized that I was stalling out, and so sometimes you just got to write something down. I know what I mean. You may not, but that's fine. So the city is New Light, which I will now go to 208 in here and write down the city name. It says village, so we got New Light, known for university. So it's not going to be like a big university or anything like that. I guess in this world, we'll say universities are a bit smaller, but it's like a gathering of scholars where people come to learn from them. And let's say that Nelsor probably is one of those scholars. He's an older gentleman, and he was going to investigate something because kind of like the wise men situation. He saw a star in the distance and he went after it. So let's go ahead and I believe this is a risky hex. Let me double check. And again, we're moving at half speed because of Nelsor's broken leg. That Yarki has continued to heal, so I think it's getting better, but I don't feel like I can just hand wave a broken leg. So, first encounter, there is none. So they're walking along this coastal region, and I can imagine kind of like in my mind, like according to the map that I drew, it kind of, it's not like a sheer like drop off, like a big cliffside that looks over the water, but I would say that it's like sandy dunes that raise up to this like very low cut grass area with like wispy trees and like small brush that's everywhere. And so they're walking through this and they can see most things, and they're feeling the ocean breeze coming from kind of from both directions, or I guess straight ahead, that's like passing over them. And they're probably feeling like they know they're only 3 days from this city, which means they're only then like a day from the Order of the Order, which is their ultimate goal. So they're probably feeling pretty good. And maybe Yarky, I think Yarky sparks up a little tune, and he starts singing, and everybody's having a good time as they make it about halfway through the day. And we'll roll another, and no encounter again. So they sit down to have lunch, and they're actually at the end of their rations now. So I'm not even gonna. It's the last one. So they tick off their rations, knowing that they're gonna need to find some food. And actually, let's see. Do they find? Is there anything to eat around? Yes. What would it be? Maybe because fish is the first thing that comes to mind, but maybe there's a little. Oh, this makes me sad, but I think it's probably true. We're gonna make it so where there's like a few little. There's like some beach pigs, like that one island that has all the pigs on it. And they're able to skewer one of those. And actually, wait, let's see if so there is something to eat. Can they get it? I'm kind of rooting for the pigs here. Can they get it? Yes, but it's, but they feel bad about it. Yes, but they feel bad about it as well because it's a cute pig. And so, they carry it on because they're going to cook it for dinner. And let's roll the next encounter. No encounter. And so they continue to press forward. I think kind of based on what they're seeing, like looking out over this water, maybe in the distance too, they actually see a ship, and they like wave out. It doesn't see them, but it's just a reminder again that they're getting closer and closer. And this isn't like, it's hard for me. I don't know if this is the case for you guys, but I live in a pretty populated area. So when I think about cities and towns and stuff, I think pretty large scale. And so it's hard for me to even imagine like a world where like maybe it is scarce for people to see people out and about, or like if everything is really like densely populated into just like a few different city areas, that would be very different for me at least. So it's hard for me to get my mind. And sometimes I worry, I don't know if you do this too, but I worry about the idea of like, what if I misrepresent this? And the reality is it doesn't matter. Like that university in a village, it sounds weird, but it doesn't matter. And that's why I kind of pivoted to where maybe it's not a university as we think of it, but instead just like a group of people who get together and hang out and they discuss really, really high, lofty thoughts. So if ever you're doubting yourself, know that I am as well, and I'm sure other people are too. But it's not about that. It's about playing. It's about trying, just building a world that you're satisfied with. So they have this pig. They're carrying it. They're almost all the way to their resting point for the night, and we'll roll one last encounter check, and it is safe. So they settle down, they start to cook the pig, and let's actually, I'm gonna roll straight up on this. I'm not gonna decide who's saying it yet until I see what it is. So we got 16, 28. 16, combine, friend. Whoa. Okay. I think Nelsor officially gives like the invite in this moment to say, hey, once we're back, once I've healed up a little bit and we can get the maybe funding for it or something else. Maybe they'll have some funding for this expedition. But let's join forces, and I would like for you guys to officially come with me back to that mushroom village. Which is interesting because he actually, now that I think about it, he never really filled them in on everything that he had learned, or like everything that he was doing. So now I can go back and kind of recap this for you guys and remind myself. So he is an elderly human. His name is Nelsor Borisk. He has bandit stats. I just put that in there for myself. No ambush on that. He's been doing research on the nature of the disc, and he believes that it has potential to affect a wider area than it already is and corrupt it. He is from the coastal village down in 208. What does he know? He has observed movements in the disc, shaking and deep rumbling. His research, however, was in the saddlebag of the horse, and it is gone now. Is he badly hurt? Yes, but it isn't life-threatening. And does he know about the mushroom village? So there's a twist here. And this is where it's important because he hasn't divulged this information at this point. I rolled a 10, which means it's a twist. He actually saw it appear within the last few days. That's why he was heading back home to get others to join him in checking it out. So, that's actually a really cool thing because I kind of forgot that I hadn't told the characters that. So, he gives the official invitation to join him in his research. So, Nelsor extends invitation to join trip back to disc / mushroom village. And that's where we'll end it, with them just sitting around the fire, eating some pig, and discussing this. I have mentioned this before, but it's likely that Sir Tucker Rose will kind of drop off from the party after this. So it will get down to a much more refined party, which will be kind of scary in ways because Sir Tucker Rose has provided a lot of extra frontlining and power. So I actually may explore some things with Yarky's HP because I've rolled a nat 1 multiple times. So I may see if maybe even there's a magic item that we can get a hold of for him that would buff his HP up, so him being a frontliner isn't the scariest thing in the world. But we'll see if that actually works, or maybe they'll just hire someone to come along with them. But we will get to that as we go, and I appreciate you guys joining me. It's crazy we're already 1/3 of the way through this solo Sesh-A-Thon in April, and it's been really cool for me. It's really changed the way I've played and made it much more streamlined and a lot more just like fast-paced because I'm just going a day at a time, and I've been really enjoying it. So if you've been participating as well, I'd love to hear in the comments. I know that these videos aren't like as entertaining or not entertaining, but they aren't as wide sweeping maybe as some of my other videos. So for the people who do watch it, I'd love to hear what you do in your solo sessions and just create that engagement and know what you're all about. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.